The room was spinning. Cold, bright, loud. Tamara's eyes fluttered open to the harsh white hospital lights above her. Beeping machines surrounded her. Nurses whispered anxiously. A doctor stood frozen at the door, sweat running down his temples. But none of that terrified her. What terrified her was the man standing at the foot of her bed. Tall, ice-cold eyes, black gloves, a face too handsome to belong to a criminal, yet too intimidating to belong to an ordinary man. He stepped closer, his voice deep and controlled. "Tamara, the child you're carrying is mine." She choked on her own breath. Her heart almost stopped. Her fingers gripped the hospital sheets as if the world had just shattered beneath her. What? Her voice trembled. "That's impossible. I've never." But the man didn't blink. He simply looked at her stomach, then back at her. "You're carrying my heir." That was when she screamed. Her voice echoed through the entire hallway, raw with fear and disbelief. Nurses rushed toward her. She tried to pull out the 4 needles. She tried to get off the bed. She wanted to run. She wanted to disappear. "Get him away from me," she cried. "I don't know him. I don't know anything. Let me go." But the Mafia boss only tilted his head slightly, eyes calm like a storm that had already decided its path. "Yes, you do," he said softly. "You met me once, and you ran from me." Her body went numb. Her vision blurred. Her fear swallowed her whole. And just like that, everything went black. Flashback 2 months earlier. The sun rose lazily over Seoul that morning, painting the tall glass buildings gold. People rushed for buses, taxis honked, and the chilly wind bit at exposed hands. But inside the 27th floor of Hanul Tech Corporation, one woman stood out as if she didn't belong to this world. Tamara Johnson, the only black woman in the entire company. The only manager with a calm, graceful aura that made people stop and stare. The only one who dressed like success was her second skin. Her heels clicked softly as she walked through the hallway. Cream suit, gold watch, smooth dark skin, neat braids, simple nude lipstick, eyes that carried peace, and a loneliness she hid with a polite smile. Everyone admired her. Men whispered, "Damn, she's gorgeous." Women whispered, "She's so elegant. I want to be like her." But Tamara walked past quietly, headphones on, listening to gospel music to calm her nerves. She always prayed under her breath before work. "Lord, guide me today. Protect me. Give me peace." She had left the USA not because she hated home, but because she needed somewhere quiet, somewhere far from heartbreak, somewhere she could build herself alone. Korea became her escape. Work became her routine. Prayer became her comfort. And loneliness became her secret. It started with a small headache, then a wave of dizziness. By 11 a.m., she was gripping her desk just to breathe. Her assistant rushed to her side. "Manager Tamara, are you okay?" "Yes, I just need water." But when she stood up, her vision went dark for 2 seconds. Everyone panicked. Her body felt too heavy, too tired, too strange. Her coworkers insisted she go to the hospital, and she reluctantly agreed. She hated hospitals. She hated the smell, the walls, the coldness of it. But she needed answers. At the hospital, the doctor seemed nervous. He rushed her through tests, speaking too fast, avoiding eye contact. "Miss Tamara, we will run some more tests. Okay?" She nodded. He left the room, and muttered to himself in the hallway, "Oh no. Oh no, not this. Not her." But Tamara didn't hear a thing. Later that day, after she felt better, the doctor returned. "Everything looks fine," he said with a forced smile. "You're just tired. You can go home." He didn't meet her eyes. He didn't tell her the truth. He didn't tell her about the accidental insemination that happened because another patient's sample had been mislabeled. He didn't tell her she had just been given the DNA of one of South Korea's most feared men. He simply let her leave, and he prayed she would never return. Tamara tried to pretend everything was normal, but her body disagreed. She was tired all the time. Her clothes felt tighter. She hated certain smells at work. She cried during prayer for no reason. One day, she rushed to the restroom and vomited so violently she felt her ribs shake. Her co-workers insisted again. Go to the hospital. She went, and her world broke. The doctor stared at her with guilt in his eyes. Tamara, you're pregnant. She laughed at first. A broken, painful, confused laugh. That's impossible. I don't even date. I haven't. Her voice cracked. Her hands trembled. Her heart crashed into pieces. She had never wanted to be a baby mama. She had promised herself she would only have a child inside marriage. She had kept herself respectful, focused, prayerful. How? She whispered. Her voice was small. Her soul could barely breathe. The doctor's throat tightened. He looked away. I need to check something. He ran tests again. More guilt. More panic. Hours later, when she demanded answers, he confessed everything. The mistake. The wrong sample. The insemination. The truth. Tamara almost fainted. Whose child am I carrying? She screamed. The doctor swallowed hard. His voice dropped to a whisper. A man you don't want to meet. But fate didn't care. Fate was already writing her story in fire. 2 days later, after crying into her pillow until her eyes were swollen, Tamara felt a strange urge to ask for the donor's identity. She wanted to know the stranger whose blood flowed through her child. When the doctor finally showed her the donor's file, she froze. Her lips parted. Her breath vanished. No. She fell into the chair, trembling violently. Because she did know him. She knew that face, that jawline, those cold eyes. He was the man she once met in a soul bar on her friend's birthday. The man who kissed her like he owned the air she breathed. The man she slept with once. A one-night stand that felt like a mistake she buried deep. A man known all over Korea for his brutality. Kang Jisoo, the ruthless Mafia king of Seoul. Her heart almost stopped. I can't have his child, she whispered. I can't. He's dangerous. But life didn't care about her fear. Life had already tied them together. And now, as she lay in that cold hospital bed after fainting, there he was, standing before her. The man she once slept with. The man she never wanted to meet again. The man whose child she was carrying. Kang Jisoo. He looked at her like she was destiny. And he said again, Tamara, you're carrying my child. Tamara didn't wake up slowly. She woke up violently, like a woman fighting her way out of a nightmare she didn't want to return to. Her heart thumped against her ribs. Sweat covered her forehead. Her breaths were sharp and painful. But nothing was more terrifying than the silence filling the room. Where was he? Was he gone? Or worse, was he still watching her? Tamara slowly turned her head. The bed beside her. The window. The floor stand. Empty. She almost sighed in relief, until she saw it. A black leather glove resting on the bedside table. Her heart dropped into her stomach. Lord Jesus, she whispered. She sat up straight, her fingers trembling as she clutched the bedsheet. Her breathing turned shallow. Every hair on her skin stood upright. He wasn't gone. He was close. Dangerously close. The door clicked. She froze. Slowly, the door opened, and a nurse walked in with a tray. Oh, Miss Tamara, you're awake. The nurse smiled warmly. You really scared us earlier. Tamara swallowed hard, her eyes darting around the room. Where is he? She whispered. Who? The man who was here. The nurse blinked innocently. Miss, no one was here except the doctor. Tamara's blood ran cold. Was she hallucinating? Was she dreaming? Was the stress making her see ghosts? But the glove was real. The nurse's eyes drifted toward the black glove on the table. Oh, maybe this belongs to one of our security officers, she said. But Tamara knew better. She knew that glove. She had touched that glove on the night of the one-night stand she wished she could delete from her memory. She remembered his hand brushing her hip, his fingers gripping her waist, his glove pressing against her spine as he kissed her like she owed him her soul. That glove was his, not a doctor's, not a nurse's, not a random person's. It belonged to one man, Kang Jisoo, the Mafia king, the father of her unborn child. Tamara's voice cracked. And no, that's not a hospital glove. That's his. His? The nurse asked. Who is his? but Tamara was already sliding off the bed. "I have to leave," she whispered. "Miss Tamara, you can't. You need rest." No, I need to leave. Right now." Her entire body was trembling, her knees weak, her chest tight, but fear pumped adrenaline through her veins. She grabbed her handbag, slipped into her heels, and rushed out of the room. The nurse ran after her but couldn't keep up. Tamara moved like a woman escaping hell. The wind slapped her face the moment she stepped outside. Cold, sharp, unforgiving. She wrapped her arms around her chest and began walking fast, almost running, toward the bus stop. But before she could take 10 steps, a black car slowly rolled up beside her. Tinted windows, silent engine, intimidating aura. She didn't want to look. She didn't want to believe it. But the back window slid down, just halfway, enough for her to see the sharp jawline, the cold lips, the unreadable, dangerous eyes. Kang Jisoo. He didn't say a word. He didn't smile. He simply stared at her, watching her chest rise and fall with fear, watching her hold her bag like a shield, watching her legs tremble. His voice came out low and calm. "Get in the car." Tamara stepped back instantly. "No, Tamara." His voice deepened, not loud, not threatening, but heavy enough to make her heart stumble. "I said get in the car." She shook her head violently. "I'm not going anywhere with you. Stay away from me. I don't want any trouble." Jisoo's eyes narrowed slightly. "Trouble?" he repeated softly, like the word offended him, like the word wasn't even strong enough for what he represented. Tamara's voice cracked. "Stay away, please." Jisoo opened the car door, not the back door, the passenger seat. "Get in," he said again. Tamara felt her heart hammer against her chest. People passing by didn't even look. In Korea, minding your own business was a national culture. She shook her head again. No, I'm not getting in that car. I don't know you. I don't want anything to do with you. And I don't want this pregnancy." Her own words hit her like a slap. Tears filled her eyes. She covered her mouth, shaking. Jisoo stepped out of the car. And when he stood at full height, Tamara forgot how to breathe. Tall, commanding, danger wrapped in an expensive suit. He walked up to her slowly, his shoes silent on the pavement. When he reached her, he didn't touch her. He simply looked at her stomach and whispered, "Don't ever say you don't want my child." Tamara felt her knees weaken. His jaw clenched slightly, but his voice stayed painfully calm. "You fainted earlier," he said. "You're tired. You shouldn't be walking alone. I don't want your help. You need it. I don't." Suddenly, her body wobbled. The world tilted. Her vision blurred. Jisoo's hand shot forward and caught her by the waist before she hit the ground. "Easy," he whispered in her ear. "You're not well." Tamara felt his chest against her back. Warm, strong, uncomfortably familiar. Her breath caught in her throat. "Let me go," she whispered weakly. "No." His arm held her firmly. Too gently for a killer, too possessively for a stranger. "You're carrying my air. Whether you like it or not, your safety is no longer your decision alone." Her eyes filled with tears. "Why are you doing this to me?" she whispered. He looked down at her, eyes burning. "Because you were never supposed to disappear after that night." Her heart dropped. "What? You left before I woke up." He leaned in, voice low. "I've been looking for you for a year." Tamara froze. A year? She thought she was a mistake. A forgettable one-night stand. A woman he used and abandoned. "You're lying," she whispered. Jisoo didn't blink. "You left without your phone number, without a name, without anything." His voice was steady. "And I don't like losing things I touch." Her stomach twisted. Painfully. She hated how his words made her chest tighten. She hated how his voice pulled memories from that night. She hated how her body remembered him even when she tried to forget. "I'm not your property," she whispered. He leaned closer. "No," he said. "You're the mother of my child." His hand held her waist with terrifying gentleness. "Get in the car, Tamara. Before something happens to you." Her voice trembled. "Why do you care?" His eyes softened just a little. "Because you're carrying the only part of me that's still human." Tamara stopped breathing. She didn't know what scared her more, the fact that he said it, or the fact that he meant it. Slowly, against her own will, she let him guide her toward the car. Her life was no longer normal. Her peace was gone. Her freedom was slipping. And her child's father was a man whose shadow could swallow her whole. Tamara didn't speak the entire ride. Her fingers dug into her handbag. Her knees pressed tightly together. Her breath rose and fell too fast, too shallow. Every cell in her body screamed to run, to jump out of the moving car, to scream for help. But the problem was, she didn't feel unsafe in the car. She felt unsafe because of the strange calm she felt sitting beside him. Kang Jisoo didn't even look at her. His eyes stayed fixed on the road, one hand on the wheel, the other resting casually on his thigh. But his presence filled the entire space. Cold, dangerous, yet strangely protective. His expensive cologne floated around her, sharp and masculine. The same scent from the night she tried so hard to forget. That night, that stupid night when he kissed her like he had been waiting his whole life just to taste something soft. She had gone home confused, shaken, angry at herself, and now here she was, pregnant with the child of the very same man. She blinked back tears. "Stop the car," she whispered. No response. "Jisoo," she said louder, voice trembling. "Stop the car." His jaw tightened slightly, but he didn't slow down. "You're dizzy," he said. "You fainted twice. You need rest." "I don't need you," she shot back, voice cracking. "Stop the car. I'm serious." "We're going back to my doctor," he replied calmly. "I'm not your prisoner. You're pregnant. I don't care." He finally turned his head toward her, and she regretted shouting immediately, because his eyes, they weren't angry. They were dark, deep, possessive, like he was fighting the urge to pull her closer, not push her away. "You don't get to collapse in my arms and then walk away like nothing happened," he said. Her heart slammed against her chest. "I don't belong to you," she whispered. "No," he said softly. "But the baby does." Her stomach twisted. She turned to the window quickly before he saw the tears rolling down her cheeks. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Dr. Han was pacing back and forth in his office, pulling at his hair. He imagined his entire career burning. He imagined headlines. Hospital accident leads to Mafia boss's child in foreign woman. He imagined Jisoo's men dragging him out of the building. "What have I done? What have I done?" he whispered. There was a knock on his door. He jumped. It was too soft to be a nurse, too calm to be a patient. Dr. Han swallowed hard. "Come in." The door opened. A tall man in a black suit entered quietly, placing a sealed envelope on the desk. No greeting, no expression, only deadly calm. "Boss wants the rest of the medical files," the man said. Dr. Han froze. His knees almost gave out. Which boss?" he whispered. The man looked down at him with cold eyes. "Don't play stupid." Dr. Han's throat went dry. The envelope on the desk had one word written in red ink. "Just." Dr. Han's hands began shaking violently. "Oh my God," he whispered. "He's going to kill me." The man leaned closer. "If he wanted you dead, doctor," he tapped the desk softly, "you wouldn't be standing." Dr. Han felt sick. "Just give us the full report," the man said. "No lies, no mistakes." And the woman?" Dr. Han whispered. The man's eyes narrowed. "She's under his protection now," which was the Mafia's polite way of saying, she no longer belongs to herself. Tamara wiped her tears quickly, but Jisoo saw everything. He always saw everything. "Don't cry," he said quietly. His voice was calm but sharp enough to cut steel. "I'm not crying," she lied. He glanced at her hands. They trembled uncontrollably. "You're scared," he said. She bit her lip so hard she tasted blood. "Shouldn't I be?" she whispered. That hit him. For a moment, just a moment, his expression softened. He looked away, tapping his fingers lightly on the steering wheel. "I'm not your enemy, Tamara." She laughed weakly. A sad, broken laugh. "You're a mafia boss." "Yes." "You kill people." "Yes." "You threaten people." "Yes." "You don't even know me." His grip on the steering wheel tightened. "I know enough. No, you don't, she snapped. You don't know that I didn't plan this. You don't know that I never wanted to be a mother this way. You don't know that I came to Korea to escape pain, not fall into more of it. Tears streamed down her face again. Hot, silent, exhausting. Jisoo turned the car into a quiet, empty alley. He parked, turned off the engine, then faced her fully. His voice was low, dangerously gentle. Tamara, he said. Look at me. She refused. She stared at her lap instead, fists clenched. Tamara, he repeated softer. She slowly lifted her head. His eyes locked onto hers. And for the first time, she didn't see a mafia boss. She saw a man terrified of losing something he didn't even know he wanted. You think I don't understand pain? He whispered. Tamara swallowed hard. You think I don't know what loneliness feels like? What regret feels like? What losing family feels like? Her lips parted. He leaned closer. Everything I touch becomes destruction. Everything I love disappears. I don't have softness. I don't have peace. I don't have anything. His voice shook slightly, just slightly. But now, he whispered, touching his chest. For the first time in years, something matters. Her breath caught. You carry my child, he said. My blood, my future, the one thing I can still protect. Her heart thumped painfully. And you? He added, eyes dropping to her trembling hands. You're the only woman who ever walked away from me. Tamara blinked, confused. What does that have to do with anything? Everything, he said softly. Do you know what it felt like waking up alone after that night? No name, no number, no trace. His voice lowered even further. I searched for you, Tamara. For a year. She froze. I thought I imagined you, he continued, like some dream I wasn't meant to keep. And then suddenly, fate puts you back in front of me, carrying my child. Tamara pressed a shaking hand to her mouth. Felt unreal. Too heavy. Too much. I'm not kidnapping you, he said. I'm not hurting you. He leaned back slightly. I'm protecting what belongs to me. She shook her head weakly. I'm not yours, Jisoo. His lips curved just a little, dangerous, soft, sad. No, he whispered. But you will be. Her entire body trembled. And the baby? She whispered painfully. What if I can't do this? Jisoo looked down at her belly. You already are, he said. She didn't know whether to cry, scream, or faint again. Before she could speak, he turned the engine back on. Where are we going? She whispered. He pulled his seatbelt smoothly. To a safe place. Safe for who? She whispered. His eyes met hers through the mirror. For you, he said, and for the child. The drive to the safe place felt like a silent war inside Tamara's chest. The city lights blurred past the windows. Tall cold buildings, empty midnight roads, rain falling like needles, and Jisoo driving like a man on a mission. He didn't speak again, but every time she shifted in the seat, his eyes flicked toward her reflection in the mirror. Not angry, not irritated, almost protective. Too intense, too personal. Tamara swallowed the lump in her throat and forced her voice out. Where are we going exactly? He didn't hesitate. A private residence. Yours. Maybe. She exhaled slowly. Then whose? He took a small breath. The kind men take when they don't want to reveal too much. It belongs to my family, he finally said. It's secure. Quiet. No one knows I'm taking you there. Her heartbeat skipped. Why me? She whispered. Why hide me? You fainted. Twice. Your blood pressure is unstable. His jaw tightened. And the hospital is not safe. Not with the mistake they made, and the attention it's getting. So I'm what? She asked softly. A target. His fingers tapped once on the wheel. A sign she had hit the truth. Let's just say, he said, voice low, people don't like surprises in my world. A foreign woman carrying my child is a complication. Her stomach dropped. Her fingers shook. Her breath stuttered. Complication. That's what she was now. Silence filled the car again, thick and painful. But then, he added quietly, a complication I intend to protect. The words rolled through her chest like warm thunder. She turned her face to the window again before he saw the emotion rising in her eyes. The car finally turned down a narrow road lined with trees. No houses, no people, only darkness, rain, and the loud beat of her heart. Then she saw it, a tall, modern villa built behind steel gates, lights glowing softly behind frosted windows, surrounded by guards who stood perfectly still despite the rain. It wasn't a house. It was a fortress disguised as a luxury home. The gate opened without Jisoo lowering his window. The guards bowed their heads as the car passed. Tamara gripped her seat tightly. "Jisoo," she whispered. "This place looks like a prison." She froze. He glanced at her. "It's not," he said. "It's safety." But she wasn't sure if he believed that himself. He parked in a private garage, turned off the engine, and for a moment, didn't move. He sat there, breathing slowly, trying to calm himself, trying not to overwhelm her. Finally, he unbuckled and turned to her. "Don't run," he said softly. "Not here. You won't be chased, but you'll get lost." Her voice shook. "I wasn't going to run." His eyes softened in that deep, hard-to-read way he had. "I know. You're brave. Too brave for someone who's shaking." Her breath hitched. He opened her door for her, gently, respectfully, not touching her, but staying close enough that she felt his warmth. Inside, the place was beautiful. Warm lighting, soft carpets, a huge hallway with glass stairs, a faint smell of lavender and something luxurious. It didn't feel like a mafia hideout. It felt like a secret world, a world she didn't belong in. Jisoo led her upstairs, walking slightly slower so she could keep up. "You'll stay here," he said, opening a bedroom door. Tamara gasped. It was stunning. Huge bed, soft gold lights, a balcony overlooking the city, fluffy white robes on the bed, fresh water and fruit on the table. It looked like a hotel for royalty. She turned slowly. Why does this room look like you've been expecting someone?" He blinked. "I wasn't." She raised an eyebrow. "Then why have everything prepared?" He looked away, a muscle in his jaw twitching. "I keep this room ready," he said, "for emergencies." Her heart tightened painfully. "Am I an emergency?" He met her eyes. "No," he whispered. "You're something I didn't prepare for." Her breath trembled. Before she could speak, a woman entered. A beautiful elderly Korean woman wearing a silk uniform. She bowed deeply. "Boss," she greeted, then turned to Tamara with a warm smile. "You must be the woman we were told to expect." Tamara froze. "Told? By who?" Jisoo stared straight ahead, expression blank. "You can leave now," he told the woman. She bowed again and left. The door closed. Silence. Tamara's heart pounded. "You told them I was coming?" she whispered. "I didn't want you walking into a cold room," he said. "But you said." "I lied." The honesty hit her harder than the lie. She stared at him. "You planned this," she said softly, "to bring me here." "No," he said calmly. "I plan to protect you. This is the safest place I have. And if I don't want to stay," a long pause, "then I'll take you home," he said. "But not tonight. You're too weak. You faint again, you might lose the baby." Her hand flew to her stomach instinctively. Jisoo's eyes followed the motion. Slow, deep, full of something unspoken. He stepped closer. "Tamara," he said, "you need rest, food, warmth, stability." She swallowed hard. "And you?" she whispered. "What about me? What do you need?" His eyes locked onto hers. Dangerous, softening, burning. "You," he whispered. "Safe." Tamara's breath caught. "I won't force you," he added quietly. "But you're not alone anymore." Her knees weakened. "And this place," she whispered, "is it really safe?" He looked around the room slowly. "No one can enter without going through me. And if someone tries?" He stepped even closer, his voice dropping to a possessive whisper. "Then I'll kill them." The way he said it, calm, simple, sincere, sent shivers down her spine. Tamara looked at the bed, then at him. "Where will you sleep?" she asked. He didn't blink. "Outside your door." Her mouth fell open. "Why?" To guard you. Jisoo. That's unnecessary. No, he said firmly. It isn't. She stared at him, heart pounding. He took one slow step back. You're safe here, he said softly. Sleep, rest. I'm not going anywhere. And with that, he closed the door gently, leaving Tamara alone in the beautiful room. Alone with her thoughts. Alone with her heartbeat. Alone with the scary truth. She didn't feel trapped. She felt protected. Strangely comforted. Dangerously seen. And that terrified her more than anything. Tamara woke slowly. The morning light seeped through the floor-to-ceiling curtains of the safe house, soft and warm, but it did nothing to calm the storm in her chest. She shifted under the covers, aware of the weight in her stomach, the tiny life growing inside her, a constant, undeniable reminder of how drastically her world had changed overnight. Her eyes flicked to the door. It had been closed all night, just as it should be. Jisoo had stayed outside, as he promised. He hadn't crossed the line. He hadn't touched her. Yet knowing he had been there, a silent sentinel guarding her while she slept, made her heart race in ways she didn't understand. Fear, relief, something else, something warmer that she tried desperately to ignore. She rose slowly, careful not to disturb the balance of her growing belly, and noticed small gestures of care he had left behind. Her slippers were neatly placed beside the bed. A glass of water sat on the table, and on the counter, a simple breakfast, toast, fruit, tea, all arranged meticulously. Her lips curved slightly, a mixture of gratitude and exasperation. He was infuriating, and yet comforting. Tamara's phone buzzed softly. It was a reminder of the world outside her safe cocoon. Work, she sighed. Even with everything happening, she couldn't let her professional life fall apart. She was a manager, respected and admired at her company in Seoul. The only black woman in her office, she had always carried herself with strength, intelligence, and grace. She would not let this pregnancy, this chaos, define her. She dressed quickly, choosing a crisp blouse and tailored pants he had bought, trying to mask her fatigue. Her reflection in the mirror showed a composed, confident woman, the woman everyone at the office admired. But the truth beneath that facade was far messier. She felt dizzy as she put on her heels, pressing a hand to her stomach instinctively. The drive to the office was tense. She barely noticed the streets passing by, her mind consumed with anxiety over the pregnancy, her lingering emotions for Jisoo, and the impossible situation she now found herself in. Her entrance was met with polite smiles and greetings. "Tamara, you look radiant today," a colleague said. Tamara forced a smile, hiding the turmoil inside. She didn't want anyone to know how out of control her life had become. Meetings, calls, reports. She dove into them with her usual precision. Her colleagues noticed her focus, her clarity, her unwavering presence, but they didn't see the tremor in her hands as she held her pen, or the faint paleness of her skin. She couldn't let them see that. Still, the fatigue caught up with her. A wave of dizziness hit, and she pressed herself against her desk to steady herself. Her mind spun. She was managing teams, deadlines, people's expectations, and now, unknowingly, the child of a dangerous mafia boss. Her phone buzzed softly, and she saw the name, Jisoo. She hesitated, then answered cautiously. "Are you okay?" His voice was calm, low, and measured, but there was something in it that made her heart skip. "I'm fine," she said automatically. "You're not," he said simply. "I can hear it in your voice." "I have work to do," she replied, trying to keep her tone firm. "I know," he said, "but you need to rest. Eat something. Don't push yourself too hard. You're carrying my child, Tamara. That means I won't allow anything to happen to you." Her chest tightened. The words made her feel a mixture of panic and warmth. Protective, calm, imposing, and yet gentle. He was the man she had feared, the man whose presence made her pulse race, and yet, he was looking out for her. After work, she reluctantly agreed to meet Dr. Han at Seoul Central Hospital. The doctor was pale, trembling, and visibly relieved to see Jisoo quietly accompanying her. "Ms. Tamara, Mr. Kong," Dr. Han stammered. I need to explain what happened again." Tamara's chest tightened. She had suspected the truth, but hearing it confirmed made her stomach turn. Dr. Han described the mistake: a mislabeled vial, the wrong procedure, an accidental insemination with Jisu's sperm. Tamara felt her legs weaken. She pressed a hand to her forehead, tears threatening to spill. I never wanted this, she whispered. I never wanted to be a mother this way. Jisu stood silently beside her, calm, in control, protective. Every eye in the hospital seemed to notice his presence, the quiet authority that didn't need to raise his voice. You're carrying my child, he said quietly, almost gently. Tamara looked at him, frustration and disbelief mingling with the confusing warmth that his words stirred in her chest. I know, and I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with that information. He didn't speak immediately. He just placed his hand near hers, not touching, just letting her feel the heat of his presence. Then let me help you, he said softly. Let me protect you. Her chest tightened. She couldn't deny the comfort in his words. The strange relief of knowing someone so dangerous could also be so careful, so protective. The ride back was quiet. Rain tapped gently against the car windows. Tamara stared at the blurred city lights, feeling the weight of everything pressing down on her. Jisu remained silent, his hands steady on the wheel, his eyes occasionally glancing at her through the rearview mirror. You shouldn't be angry at yourself, he said suddenly, breaking the silence. I can't help it, she whispered. I feel powerless, exposed, like my life is no longer my own. Maybe it isn't, he said softly, but that doesn't mean you're alone. Not while I'm here. Her heart thumped painfully. He hadn't touched her. He hadn't crossed any lines. Yet the intensity of his presence made her pulse race in ways she didn't understand. Later that night, as she lay in bed, her phone buzzed. A new message from an unknown number. She's carrying the child. You know what to do. Tamara froze. Jisu noticed immediately. His hand gripped the edge of the bed, calm yet ready, as if anticipating a threat. No one will touch you, he whispered, his voice low, dangerous, and soothing all at once. Not while I'm still breathing. Tamara pressed her hand to her stomach instinctively, feeling the truth of his words. She didn't understand how she could be both terrified and comforted by a man like Jisu. All she knew was that her life, her safety, and her baby were now inseparably tied to him, and that reality both terrified and enthralled her.
Hello besties, do you all want episode 2? Kindly like, subscribe and share.